The sunrise doesn't last all morning. The sunset doesn't last all evening. Darkness only lasts at night time. In the morning it'll fade away. All things must pass. All things must pass away. Um, George Harrison's lyrics, not mine, in fairness. But you know, Matty Platt hasn't passed away, but he's passed on from Bradford City. Unfortunately, he will never play for the football club again. And he was an unbelievable player for us. I obviously sung his praises all the time because he was brilliant. He was underrated, criminally underrated. Mr. Consistent, reliable, and dependable. Never put a foot wrong. I think there's out of his 89 games, I think it was maybe 5 games. I can't even think of 5 games where he had a bad game. To be honest with you, he was rock solid, and I can't remember many mistakes. There was Crawley and Mansfield last season, in 23, 22, 23 at Mark Hughes, and that's all I can think of. And that was only because he got sent off. He was as solid as a rock for us, and I'm going to massively miss him. There was the Paul O'Connor, Vernon Watt, triple header that did us in just before Mark Hughes' first full season, and that were hard to take. That were really hard to take because what we were missing there were 3 key players. Matty Platt's only 1 key player, but when you look at our successful team last season, it was the back 3 when Tompkinson won the right, Platty were in the middle, and Kelly won the left, and they complemented each other well because they all have different styles of play. And Matty Platt in the centre of that was the glue to it all. He held it all together. Because what Matty Platt's brilliant at doing is knowing when to press, knowing when to sit off, knowing when to go for an aerial, and knowing that he can win it. And what he was brilliant at was winning those areas. You look at his aerial stats, start standing. And you only had to watch him in the games to know that. Ollie Hawkins, he had him in his back pocket. Many massive strikers in this division didn't really stand a chance against Matty Platt. And what is he, 6'2"? So he ain't a massive, bulldozing centre back like an Ash Taylor. He's not the slowest either. I was thinking when Notts County signed him, I thought, don't look right. It didn't look right seeing him in Notts County shirt, but and he's only been here 2 years, but it didn't look right on the surface that he's not a ball playing centre back. That's how they played, very data driven, the possession based side. And I thought that won't work out. But then on hindsight, I look at it and I think that's an unbelievable piece of business. To go and get someone like Matty Platt in, who you know is reliable and consistent, as I've said, but he ain't the best on the ball. But he doesn't need to be, because if he's a central centre back in a back 3 like they play, the 2 wide players can be ball players, and that'll work just fine for them. So yeah, it's devastating, to be honest with you. Let's say your dog's dying. You're being told, and you sort of know it's going to happen. You put it down, but it's only after you put it down when it sort of oh yeah, it's gone. Whereas before, as it's happening, you think, he'll be fine. And I was thinking that sort of this week. I was thinking, well, Matty Platt's, he's going to be here. He ain't going to leave. And you start thinking of scenarios where he will stay and why he'll stay, and why we'll keep him. Burns us to back up, or he might play on the right, but ultimately he's gone. But the disappointment, the main disappointment I have with Matty Platt is that I could not hold him. Well, we can't hold him back anyway. It's his life, it's his decision, it's his choice. If it's more money, whatever, that's for him to deal with. If he thinks it's going to better his career, that's for him to deal with. That's his choice. But what I struggle with is the fact that he's moved on from a club that finished 9th, and he's gone to a club that finished below that. Now, I think it goes to show why we feel like we're behind clubs, because we can't compete for whatever reason. Notts County are a fantastic, well-run club, I think. They've got a great fan base. You only had to listen to them against us for that. I know they battered us, but, they're a great fan base, big club historically as well. And they seem to have a bit of financial backing behind them. Montagues, I think it is, where's the Capulets? We need to be the Capulets. We need to compete with these clubs. I can't begrudge you moving on, but moving on to League One, I do held my hands up and say, yeah, that's a step forward. I can't begrudge that. Moving to a club that finished below us, as well as I thought they should have finished at least top 7, they didn't. So I feel like that's a bit of a backward step from Matty Platt, to be honest with you. But in terms of us, obviously we brought in Neil Byrne, and Monday I think it was. It feels like an age ago, but he's I felt at the time, yeah, it will be Matty Platt's replacement, unfortunately, because he's so similar to him. He's similar pace levels, same in terms of when he plays, he ain't going to make a mistake. From what I gathered from Stockport when I've seen him, he just looks like that sort of consistent player. So I think this is controversial. I think a lot of people will look at that signing now with a bit more negativity around it, thinking, right, that signing now is for Matty Platt. And he's not really proven. He's played 10 games, he's 31 and we paid a fee for him. Whereas I look at that now and think, well, it's a decent signing and I think it's good business. But I just don't think we can replace Matty Platt. And I know people say, well, we're just an average League 2 centre-back. He was just a 7 out of 10, he was a steady Eddie. You can always replace a steady Eddie. But my concern is that you don't get all your signings right. And we know we've got someone there who's consistent and reliable and a 7 out of 10. And he's gone now. And for me, one of the best centre-backs in the league last season, quite comfortably up in the top 10, top 5, which is a big achievement with the centre-backs in this division. And he's gone. Tompkinson and Oyugoke have gone. Whether you want Oyugoke back or not, he were playing now winning one at the back end of last season. So that's three. It's 4 centre-backs gone if you count Taylor, but he can, just get out of the way and we'll stop talking about him. So 3 main centre-backs have left the football club. Out of a back line, which was one of the best in the division, if not the best in the division, I don't know, since Graham Alexander took over and was playing Tompkinson, Oyugoke, Platt and Kelly. Kelly is the only one who remains out of that, and maybe I think that as well, and a lot of fans are saying he should be a backup and we should go and get Jacob Badeau, and I'd love if we did, but at the end of the day then you've lost your whole back line, which was one of the best in the division, because they all are different. Kelly pressed up a bit rash, but it worked for him because he's got Platt next to him who's consistent. He knows when to press, he knows when to drop off, and he ain't as good on the ball as Tompkinson or Ugoki, who has pace, and that can get them out of the trouble of Platt and Kelly. So they all complement each other well, and only one of them might be starting next season, which is a big concern for me, because you just don't know what you can do. Because we've got Burning, we need another 2 on the right side, and there's no hope that they will turn out right. Obviously, I hope they do, touch wood, but there's no guarantee that they will. And when you read the stats on Matty Platt, the fact that we only won 1 game without him last season. The fact that in his last 9 full 90s at the back end of the season, we only drew one of those games, which I think was to Grimsby. And in his 25 full 90s, we hadn't lost out of 29 of them. 25 of his 29 full 90s, we hadn't lost, which is, again, an outstanding record. And I think that's how you can take stats and this amount of aerial duels and this amount of passes completed and this amount, which is all individual and all fine, but when you're talking about a specific player coming into a side and having a positive impact by the team doing well, the team winning, the team keeping clean sheets if you're a defender, the team scoring more goals if you're in the side, if you're an attacker, creating more chances, how the team does when you're in the team, for me, determines how good of a player he is, because he's having a positive impact on everyone around him. And that's what Matty Platt does, and he will be a fantastic sign for Notts County, and I'm devastated that he's gone. I really am. We haven't and we won't replace Matty Platt for a number of years. I think, let me know in the comments down below, I want you to rank these 4 centre-backs, because for me these are the 4 best centre-backs in my lifetime. I know everyone else's will be different, but for me these are the best 4 centre-backs in my lifetime supporting Bradford City. It's Matty Platt, Reece Burke, Ricardo and Davis. And I don't have any harm in putting Matty Platt in there for me. I know he played at a lower level, but then the next is Paddy O'Connor, and I'd rather have him. He's consistent, reliable. You don't feel like he's going to do anything rash, get a red card, headbutt someone, chop someone's legs off. You don't feel like that's going to happen with Matty Platt. You could trust him, and you felt like you were insured with Matty Platt. But they're the top 4 for me, and I can't rank those, but you have a go in the comments down below. So let's have a reader's statement then from Bradford City, and we'll do Notts County because it's a player who's left us. So we'll see what they've got to say about Matty Platt. 1 minute. There's not. there's not a club statement from Bradford City on Matty Platt. That's disgraceful. That's disgraceful, that is. We do a club statement for Ash Taylor, we don't do one for Matty Platt. Now, for me, I don't care if it's his decision that he's left the club. I don't care. I don't care what they think. But he should have a statement. I mean, all they put on Twitter, you know, you might not have Twitter. You know, Matty Platt has Twitter, but his mum might not. You know, why ain't he been given a club statement? It's classy, and he's a player who's got us to the playoff semi-final. He's contributed to one of our better defensive records in recent times under Graham Alexander. He's been an absolute rock at the back, and if I were to grade him at his Bradford City career, 7 out of 10. And I think that if you, in recent years, in my time watching Bradford City, if I'm giving someone a 7 out of 10 after being at the club for 2 years, I think they deserve a pretty good send-off. And he's not been given a club statement at all. All he's been given is after 2 years and 89 appearances in Clough and Amber, Matty Platt leaves Bradford City at the end of his contract. Thank you for your service and best wishes for a future play. I mean, how informal is that? That's disgraceful, that is. I don't know if anyone else has picked up on it. I don't know if it's worth picking up on it. I don't know if it's just me. I don't know if that's just me. But for me, that's a disgrace. To put the link to Notts County's club statement out. But just looking back, I mean, I didn't read the club statements to Neil Burns signing, to Antol signing. You know, those two players came from Stockport, and every player that's left their football club, yes, they won the National League, yes, they won League Two with them. They were part of history-making sides, and you know, if Matty Platt won League Two of us, maybe we would have. But for me, that's how it should be. A player's, you know, being a servant for your club, dedicated to play for your club, and then you don't give them a send-off. You know, nothing. He didn't get nothing. You know, I bet he got given some after eights, and that's all they've got given. Anyway, Notts County said, Richard Montague sits on our board and leads on recruitment, said the board together with the management team identified Matty as a top target for this summer, so we're obviously delighted to sign him on a 2-year contract. Matty brings so many positive qualities, but perhaps most importantly, he's one of the most dominant defenders in the league thanks to his incredible aerial presence, defensive instincts and determination to win first contacts and duels. These attributes will help us become more resolute both in open play and at dead balls, while we also feel he can pose a major problem for opposition defences at attacking set pieces. That is what we're going to miss. You know, back into the season, we're so much improved with set pieces. That we're down to him and Cookie moving to the back post. You know, we'll look like a real threat. And aerially, like I say, and they said, you know, he's like no better. We're gonna miss him. You know, we're gonna massively miss him. People who hate him, people who don't rate him, people who don't think no of him, come back here, October, and we'll assess how Matty Platt's doing at Notts County. We'll assess how Neil Byrne, whoever's replaced him, and you can't tell me then that we won't be missing Matty Platt. He's going to be a huge miss. He will. Anyway, they continued with saying that having played in the middle of the back three under Ian Evatt at Barrow, we also have every confidence in Matty's ability to embrace our style of play, which we know was a huge influence in him choosing us over many other clubs this summer. While he is more than capable of being a top performer for us next season at 26 and with a fantastic attitude and clear desire to improve, we feel he is someone who can progress through the leagues with us. From our perspective, Matty's arrival is the perfect start to our summer transfer business and is a reflection of the quality we're looking to bring into a club ahead of the new season. Second that, I think it's a fantastic bit of business from Notts County, and it's a shame we couldn't compete with Notts County to keep him at the football club, because you know that's something we've got to do, which is hugely disappointing. I remember Matty Platt in March time talking about his contract situation at City with Jamie Rayner, and I'm 90% sure, at least, I'll go watch it back and you can as well if you can find it, and I'm pretty sure that he said, if you know what you're thinking about getting a new contract, and I'm pretty sure along the lines he said, I'd love to stay at City if, you know, I got offered it. And obviously it went in his hands and he's left. So I don't know what all that's about. I don't know if you can draw lines and say that's why they want a club statement. I don't want to speculate about that. But he should have been given a club statement, because he was a brilliant player and we're going to massively miss him. You know, it's, you know, Pep Guardiola, the company saying we can't replace him. I don't think we can replace Matty Platt. But that statement from Notts County, you know, we don't do that when we're signing players. You know, the player says, oh, it's a big club, great fans, great stadium, all the, criteria, tick boxes that we have to tick. And, the manager gives a little bit, but we never really go in depth on a signing of why we've signed him, what he's going to bring to a team, how he's going to play. That's my job, and I don't get paid for that. So I'd like to see us do that, but that's a pipe dream. But Notts County, they're a well-run club, and they always seem to communicate well with their fans. So let me know your thoughts on Matty Platt departing the football club in the comments down below. It was expected. We didn't want to believe it, but that's what's happened. Let me know how you think he'll do at Notts County. And if there's any Notts County fans, let me know your thoughts on it as well in the comments down below. Like the video if you did, subscribe if you're new. On the road to 450 subscribers. All support recently has been massively appreciated. Have a good one.